Stop. Put your credit card away right now. If you are even thinking about buying an M4 MacBook Pro today, you are about to make a massive mistake. Something is happening behind the scenes at Apple Park that they don't want you to know about. We just found a lie buried deep inside Apple's own software code, and it changes everything we thought we knew about the M5 chip. Everyone is panicking because MacBook stock is drying up and Apple is staying silent. But the code doesn't lie. A massive leak in the latest iOS 26.3 release candidate just exposed Apple's secret silicon strategy. Nicholas Alvarez from MacRumors spotted specific identifiers that confirm the M5 is much closer than you think. But there is a catch that could ruin the MacBook Pro forever. We finally have something concrete. This isn't just a marketing slide or a rumor from a supply chain analyst. It is a genuine mistake found in the release candidate for the latest update. Someone left the door wide open. This discovery is arguably more important than a release date because it confirms Apple is messing with the silicon strategy again. We found identifiers for two specific chips, T6051 and T6052. Now, if you don't speak Apple engineer, T6051 is linked to a platform called H17C, and T6052 is H17D. Here is why that matters. Apple is ridiculously consistent with these internal names. The number 17 represents the M5 generation. The letter at the end tells you the tier of the chip. Historically, the letter C is always the Max chip. M1 Max was H13C. M2 Max was H14C. You get the pattern. The letter D is the Ultra. So, H17D confirms we are likely getting an M5 Ultra, probably for a Mac Studio update later. But here is the problem, and this is where I start getting skeptical about what they are trying to sell us this year. There is no S in this code dump. Usually, the Pro chip, which is the bread and butter for the 14-inch MacBook Pro, is labeled with an S. The M3 Pro was H15S. The M4 Pro would have been H16S. But in this latest code, H17S is completely gone. It doesn't exist. Now, you could argue they just forgot to add it or the code isn't complete. But Apple doesn't just forget the chip that makes up the bulk of their Pro laptop sales. This lines up with a theory that has been circulating in the tech community. The supply chain logic actually holds up. The theory is that Apple is killing the dedicated Pro die. Instead of manufacturing a separate smaller chip for the M5 Pro and a larger one for the M5 Max, they might be moving to a chiplet design or just a massive binning strategy. Basically, they might make one physical chip, the Max, and if it has defects or they need to fill Pro orders, they just laser off some CPU cores and disable a GPU chiplet. Then they slap a Pro label on it. From a business perspective, this is pure Tim Cook. It is yield optimization. You only pay for one set of masks. You only run one production line. If a Max chip fails quality control, it becomes a Pro. It saves Apple a fortune. Timothy's eyes are glistening at the thought of those profit margins. But for us, I am worried about what this means for efficiency. Think about it. The reason the M1 Pro and M2 Pro were so good was that they were physically smaller chips. They drew less power at idle. If the M5 Pro is just a crippled M5 Max, you are physically lugging around the silicon of a Max chip. Even with parts disabled, is the static power draw going to be higher? Are we going to see a Pro laptop that sucks battery like a heavy workstation? We saw this with the M1 Ultra. Scaling up isn't always linear, and scaling down by turning off parts of a big chip might ruin that sweet spot of battery life that the 14-inch Pro usually hits. This also plays into the Ultra leak. If the Max is now modular and built on these chiplets, then making an Ultra is just stitching two Maxes or piles of chiplets together. It makes the manufacturing easier, but it makes the architecture more complex. I want to see the thermal sheets on this before I recommend it to anyone. Now, regarding the timing, the stock channel is empty. I checked with several supplier contacts and the inventory data is clear. Resellers are running on fumes. Usually, when Apple clears the channel like this, the new product is weeks away, not months. The reseller data specifically notes this isn't a supply chain shortage. It is an imminent product introduction. The software release candidates usually drop a week or so before THE hardware. Since the RC is out, logic says we should see these things by mid-March at the latest. Maybe as early as next week. But honestly, I am tired of guessing dates. Apple has pushed this back enough times that I am not betting money on a specific day. What I am betting on is the strategy shift. So, what do you do if you are sitting there with a credit card ready to buy an M4 MacBook Pro? Put it away. Do not buy a laptop right now. Even if the M5 turns out to be a hot, inefficient mess, which is possible if they botched this chiplet transition, the release of the M5 will tank the price of the M4 inventory that is left. Best case scenario, the M5 is a monster upgrade because of this new architecture. Worst case, it is a minor bump, but you save $400 buying the M4 in 3 weeks. In my opinion, this M5 generation is a wait-and-watch moment. If Apple has truly abandoned the dedicated Pro silicon, the thermal performance and battery efficiency of the 14-inch model are at risk. We need to see if the binning strategy leads to a laptop that runs hotter than its predecessors. If you are a professional who relies on sustained performance without a charger, this change could be a deal-breaker. Don't let the shiny new M5 badge trick you into being a beta tester for their new manufacturing process. Let the reviewers get their hands on it first. I am going to be tearing this thing down the second it lands to see if this single-die theory is true. If they really killed the dedicated Pro chip, we need to know if it ruined the battery life before you spend your hard-earned money. Wait for the benchmarks, wait for the teardowns, and most importantly, wait for the price drops on the M4. Apple is playing a high-stakes game with their silicon strategy to maximize profits, and you don't want to be the one paying the price for their experiments. Keep your money in your pocket for just a few more weeks. It will be the smartest financial move you make this year. If you like the video, subscribe, share the video, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss the full breakdown and thermal testing when the M5 finally arrive.